Hey, welcome to another episode of Dave's Imaginations. Today, in this episode, we're going to recap the session we had on March 24th, Thursday, March 24th, and as the crew begins the matrimony of Ireena and Strahd. Stay with me. So, last night, our crew, just after our crew had gone to Argynvostholt with Volenta, one of Strahd's wives, to return the skull of Argynvostholt to the castle of Argynvostholt, and lit the beacon of hope, releasing, endearing the ghosts, the revenants at the castle, and encouraging them to storm the castle Ravenloft. But our party was able to convince them to wait until dusk of the next night before they start their invasion, which they did. So after that, they made it back to Ravenloft, and the crew went to bed, and it was late at night, 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. And so they don't get up until 10, 11 a.m. in the morning. And before they get up, though, not going to Argynvostholt was Ireena and Varinka. So they get up as normal, and they go down, and they see this light. Varinka sees the light outside, and she says, "Oh my goodness, what has happened?" And she goes finds the guy, goes in there and talks to Gloria and says, "Hey, what'd you do?" And she's, "Oh, leave me alone. I'm sleeping. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you know what happened." And why didn't you call me? And then again, this conversation, and we all know what's going on. So Varinka goes back to Ireena, and they spend their morning. And eventually, the guys wake up, and they all join for lunch, and they have a little conversation about what happened. And they go into the next room over where the library is, and there's a little reveal of the brazier in that room that I have been letting them use as teleportation points. The stones that activate them are gone for their own protection, and so that's a little bit. It doesn't really affect their plan at all. It just means they can't escape that way, but they also can't go through there and hurt themselves either, as would be the story. Also during that lunch, I had Strahd come in and say hi and good day, and let them know he knows that was going on, and so that was kind of fun. After that, we kind of just fast forwarded up to through the wedding preparations to right before the wedding, as Ireena and Varinka prepared for the wedding, and they go to their staging spot, as well as the rest of the group go down into the chapel, and they all get prepared for the wedding. And so we went through the motions of just before the wedding. Varinka goes and releases her flock of familiars, sending one to the Brazier of the Spire, and one to the castle gate, and off they go. And with that, they run down and they start the procession. And it was fun. I was using Father Humperdinck, which in this game got promoted to Bishop Humperdinck, which is fine. Okay, whatever. And they go, and Ireena goes up, and they takes her place. This is a traditional wedding. I gave it a traditional. I don't know what else to do. Give it a traditional wedding, and so they go up there and marriage, and in the true Princess Bride fashion, we did the whole Princess Bride marriage, and as that's going on, I kind of take them through Ketotah. Ketotah is not with them. He didn't brave coming back. He joined the druids at Solinka Pass, and so when one of Varinka's ravens tosses the stone into the brazier, opens up the portal to Solinka Pass, the druids, first Helwa and her druids, come through, and they storm, and they attack the heart of the heart in the spire, and followed by and then Ketotah throws the stone in, opening the portal to the library, sending Juniper and her druids into the library, and then Ketotah then throws a stone in, and he goes to an unknown spot, to a tomb somewhere down below. And when he gets in there and he's looking around, and he takes one step in, and then crawling from the ground, not one, not two, but three vampires spawn. And I thought for sure he was going to jump back through that portal, but no, he stays and he wants to fight. And so, but fortunately, he does his undead, turn undead spell ability, and two of them run away, which probably saved his life, as battling one was hard enough, but he wasn't being very effective. And then he casts his wild magic, which turned him invisible and silenced him. So the invisible would have been fine, but the silence really hindered his ability to attack. He did manage to get his spiritual weapon out, though, so he was kind of hitting him with that, but eventually it wasn't enough, and that vampire spawn was getting the better of him. So he does eventually open up the portal again to the Spire and joins the group up there. And with that, he kind of joined the rest of the group. But at that point is when I shared with him what was happening at the Spire, as Helwa was charging the heart. Her crew of some 14 druids go down the stairs, and they just start pummeling it with these ice attacks. And as the heart takes its initial damage, the whole tower starts to rumble, and the stairs give way, and they all fall. They do dexterity checks to see if they save. Half of them do. Helwa does, but half of them fall hundreds of feet to their death. Other of them are clinging to the side, waiting for the floor to come back up. Now, they some of them probably very likely transformed into spiders, gripping the sides, but as the same time that the stairs get, all these halberds, weapons on the walls come to life and start charging them. And at the same time, from the ramparts come a throng of skeletons charge. And as all of this is happening, right then is when Ketotah enters the Spire and starts going down and joins Helwa and her crew as they start to fight, and they battle off. And I just hand wave all this that they are able to fend off. They take care of the one vampire spawn, and they take care of the rest of the skeletons, but with some dire losses. Also, at that time is when Savid flies in, and he unleashes his breath attack, taking out a bunch of skeletons. But he's followed by 3 gargoyles, and he takes off again, taunts them with his roar, and takes off again, having the gargoyles follow him. And that is pretty much. I did describe as they looked down throughout the battle, they could see that Juniper was down there securing 2 more doors as she was doing her battle with her 14 druids. So that's kind of where we left that side of the battle. Meanwhile, back in the wedding chapel, as Ireena comes up and the bishop is doing his thing, a few minutes into the ceremony, the crowd hears a concussive boom, a knock, and very familiar to them, the knock of the spell. And they all look at the door, and Strahd points, and a few people go check it out. Before that, Strahd clutches his chest. Something has hit him, and he knows someone has attacked that heart. And so he points to a few people and says, "Go check it out." Rahadin himself, go check it out. As they go and they see that that group goes, and they're gonna go pursue whoever has attacked the heart. So that group has yet to catch up with. Probably gonna first encounter Juniper and her druids. What's going to happen there? That's going to be quite the battle, as Rahadin's pretty darn powerful, as well as the 2, 3, 4 other people that went with him. So that was the first thing that happened, clutching his heart. But then just a couple minutes later was the big concussive boom, the knock on the front door, as someone has casts a spell, unlocking the doors, allowing them to come in. A few minutes after late, there's a concussive blast of a thunderclap, and with that, Rodine clears the room and says, "Go take care of that, seal the room." But Ireena and her friends don't leave, and Strahd is not happy. But Ireena then reaches into her garter belt and pulls out the sun sword, whoomp, and hacks out, and gives him a nice strong blow, and his eyes narrow. And that's when we roll initiative, and there's a round of attacks. But Strahd gets an early in the position of the initiative. I think there's 2 or 3 people that went before him, but then on his turn he casts darkness, and then on his legendary actions he casts. So as he's going to cast his legendary action, just before Strider then puts on light and overwhelms the darkness, releasing the darkness, showing just as Strahd casts sleep on Ireena, who falls into his arms. And then the next battle was Ruckus. Ruckus cast some spell to produce a giant metallic dragon. The dragon spatters both of them, both Strahd and Ireena, with acid. And then Ruckus runs off behind and into an alcove where no one can see him, just so he can go do something. And then after his turn, then Strahd takes his next legendary action as he uses his ability to walk through walls and sinks through the ground to going to the next level below. After that, everyone dashes for the stairs down, trying to catch him. But when they get down to the catacombs, these dark catacombs, they search through and they don't find him. They don't find Strahd or Ireena. Where did they go? We don't know. We'll find out next week or next time. Next time we play Dungeons and Dragons, Curse of Strahd. Dark Queen Ascension presents Curse of Strahd. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. And until next time, take care.